Plaintiff Lewis Wallace says the defendant is his brother, and their father was a preacher, so they were expected to live a certain life. However, Lewis says he and his brother eventually turned to the streets and started selling drugs, and both served time for it. Lewis is suing his brother today for insurance money because he wrecked Lewis's car. Defendant Ronald Davis admits that he was also selling drugs and says he's the one who introduced Lewis to the drug-dealing lifestyle. Ronald insists he's cleaned up his life, and although he admits to wrecking Lewis's car, he claims he's been paying off the amount owed for the insurance.
Prove your case.
Okay, well, Your Honor, we grew up PKs, universal term of we're both preacher kids. Being a preacher's kid, you know, you're expected to live a certain life, so I had two lives. You know, I had my Christian friends, I had my hoodlum friends, my drug buddies, my gang bangers, you know. Coming up as a preacher.
Who were the most fun?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I had fun in the church, believe it or not, and then I had fun in the streets.
Which one of the most?
Well, I'm going to say it's 50-50. I mean, I enjoy both sides. I have to keep it real. I enjoy both sides.
Go ahead.
So, I started selling drugs.
Were you still going to church every Sunday?
Yes, I was, you know.
What type of drugs were you selling?
Marijuana and rock cocaine.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of church members smoke weed, but I don't know how many smoke crack.
Well, Your Honor, really, you'd probably be surprised. It's probably more than you think.
That smoke crack?
That smoke crack.
Okay.
That still go to
More
church.
smoke weed in church than those that smoke crack, right?
Well, they smoke weed before they go to church. Yes. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've been around it a while, I can pretty much tell when you're high, you know, under the influence of a controlled substance.
Now, my mother was a very strict Christian. And me and my brothers would smoke weed before church. Just like you said. We would.
And I've done it too, I can't lie. You know, I've sat in church many days.
Yeah. This is all reality. You know, I get folks, I just sit with one of the city council persons in Detroit. She's a friend. And she says, where do you get all those people? These folks on TV, is that stuff real? I said, we get them from our neighborhoods in Detroit is one place we get them. You know, people try to act all brand new like they don't know if these people exist. And these people exist in their families, in their neighborhood, and in their churches. Yeah, go ahead. Because I was one of them, and so were you.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was. I can't deny it.
Go ahead. So, did your father ever catch you?
As far as my parents concerned, they didn't really know that I was doing it. I think I started smoking weed at like 15. They never really knew. Right. But being that my mom was strict, you know, I was selling drugs out the house. And my mother stepped to me one day and she said, son, either you're gay or you selling drugs, because it don't make that much sense for that many males to come see you in the course of the day.
Okay. So the men coming in and out.
Men coming in and out all times of the day. So she said, either you gay or you selling drugs out my house. And, you know, I had a no-nonsense mother, so she wasn't having it. So at that moment, she kicked me out the house. Like, just grab your stuff and go, because the police not going to come in my house, tear up my house behind something you doing. She put me out, and I started living in motels selling, you know, drugs. I'm like, you know, the way our upbringing, the way we were, is like, I'm not going to be hobo bad. I'm not going to look like I'm homeless, so I continue to sell drugs. So if you saw me in the streets, you didn't know I was like homeless.
How did you leave the streets?
Well, I got caught up in the hotel room selling drugs. The officer came in to make a purchase. Just so happened the door was cracked. And he didn't have to come buy nothing because he saw me sitting there cutting it up. So he just come on in, he drew down on me, and he asked to see my hands. So
were you convicted?
Yes, I was convicted.
How much time did you serve?
I did 6 months in the county jail for that.
All right.
So I thought I learned my lesson. Apparently I didn't. I got back out there in the streets, and I caught another case, actually 3 years later to date.
And this is your brother?
And that is my brother.
Was he down in the game with you?
He started the game for me, and he's my younger brother. He's one of my younger brothers.
All right. You ever got cracked? And if so, how many times?
How many times? Twice.
Let me hear your background, if you like.
Background just pretty much almost the same as his.
He said you took him down that path.
Yeah, I took him down that path. I think I was a little more adventurous. We had all our needs covered, but I had wants. So I got interested and started selling drugs and started doing a lot of different things. Then I found some different places to do stuff. Then I'd call him. I said, hey, found a new spot. And he'd come on down and sit with me. But I got caught up. I went to the penitentiary.
How long?
I did 18 months.
Second time? Got
out, stayed out 24 days, went right back. I did a year and a half then.
What have you been doing since then?
What I've been doing, now I'm going to school, got a steady job. trying to get my degree so I can go teach.
All right, good. So you were able to come out of the streets. That's good to hear. Now, this insurance money you're suing him for is about what?
It's about a car. My brother used to live in Atlanta, and he moved from Atlanta. And I, had a couple of vehicles then, but mind you, my license was suspended through child support, so I wasn't allowed to drive no way. So being that I had 2 cars, he came from Atlanta, I let him drive, one of my cars. He had an accident in the car, and I was receiving mail at the house saying my car had been involved in an accident. So I like, Ron.
He hadn't told you?
No, he hadn't told me.
Go ahead.
I said, Ron, you had an accident in my car? He like, yeah. Yeah, I had an accident, man. Give me the paperwork, give me the number, I'll take care of it. All right, no problem. You my brother. I gave him the paperwork, all right, go take care of it. So months go by, and I get more letters. Like, nothing has been taken care of, nothing else. I said, Ron, they talking about, coming after me for this. He said, all right, I'll take care of it. So he said he'd take care of it. He never did take care of it.
How does he owe you for $4,700 worth of damage?
That is the amount that Liberty Mutual took over the case that was suing for the damages that was done to the car.
All right, let's hear from you, sir.
Okay, at that particular time, like you said, I did come from Atlanta. I did get in an accident in his vehicle, and the lady, we pulled over, exchanged information.
Why didn't you tell him?
Why didn't I tell him? I believe I did mention it to him, but in reference to us sitting down and really discussing it and talking about it, no, I didn't.
Okay, so what do you believe his response was?
His response was, are you going to take care of it? And at that time, my statement was, yes, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
And then...
so why haven't you?
Why haven't I?
You keep asking me the same thing I'm asking you.
Well, I don't mean
when people do that means they're trying to think of an answer.
No, I'm not trying to think of an answer.
That's a common technique. When you're trying to think of something, politicians do that all the time. They're the worst at it. You ask them a question, they know they're jammed up, they ask you the same question. Senator so-and-so, why aren't we getting enough Medicare for the senior citizens? Why aren't you getting enough Medicare for the senior citizens? Why are you trying to think of a lot?
By time.
Well, by time. You a politician?
No, I'm not a politician.
You done been to jail? What else? Yes. Just having fun. Most politicians are not crooked, but there's enough of them that are. Go ahead, sir.
Well, we set up a payment plan. I had moved to Vegas where he was. We had set up a payment plan.
And it was toward $4,763 or thereabout?
Well, I didn't know the total amount, and what happened was...
Well, how did you come up with a plan if you don't know the amount you're paying?
Well, what happened was we were discussing. He said, Ron, I got to pay this money back. I got to pay him a certain amount a month.
How were you to pay? Just give him some now and then? What was the agreement?
Every month, on top of the rent, which was $300, I gave him $450. I gave him about $150.
That was the agreement?
That was the agreement.
You paid him $150 above the rent?
That is correct.
All right. So how many months?
I gave him $450 for about 13 months.
What months were those? Give me the month and year that you began.
2006, May of 2006, I got down there. I got a job.
May of 06. Is that correct?
No, sir.
How much has he paid you?
Roughly $500.
All right. How do I know who's telling the truth?
Well, you can believe me because he didn't even stay there a year to pay me. He didn't even live with me a full year. He met his wife and moved. So, I mean, he never stayed there that long.
You have to do better. If I don't have any evidence, the only thing I can go by is testimony. So far, I don't know who's telling the truth because I don't know whose testimony to believe. So one person or the other has to convince me by their testimony if there's no evidence. You have something there, so is that evidence you want to give me?
I have evidence of the total balance and that I set up payment arrangements.
Okay. What is this you just handed Doyle?
That is the letter from
showing that you owe $47.62. What else?
But he didn't stay with me long enough to pay. No, he didn't stay with me 13 months.
All right, aside from the rent, how many months did he pay you $150?
Well, he started giving me some money.
Now you're not convincing me. You're estimating. When you say he started giving me some money.
He was paying me money out of his pocket. Every time I saw him, I'm like, Ron, you got something for me? You got something for me.
You say you've paid how much, sir? No, what did you calculate it at? $19.50. $47.63 minus $19.50.
2813.
2813. Unless you have some other direct evidence, sir, I'm going to grant you 2813 because you're estimating now. You're guessing. He's very concise with the amount he says he paid you. He never said I was paying him something out of my pocket. He didn't say I was paying him here and there. He said I paid him $150 over the rent for 13 straight months. And you say, well, Your Honor, he paid me here and there and by and by.
Well, when he did pay me, Your Honor.
$2,813. Have a good day.
Thank you. We're going to move on forward with it. I mean, it's no big deal. We are brothers, you know, and I got much love for him. It's just something that happened. I'm sure he didn't mean not to pay me.
Everything is fine with me. He's still my brother. I can't not love him, so I did the best I could.
Oh, brothers, man. We gonna always be brothers.